think probably the most pleasant thing about the safari is maybe almost the prospect of seeing these huge big five animals like rhinos and elephants and giraffes and leopards and lions. There's something extremely pleasant about being in the back of a Range Rover cruising through the bush with you and a couple other people that are from various other countries. We had a really good day, and particularly yesterday. Started off the morning with a game drive, went out and saw a leopard just after the sun had rose, and just this beautiful soft light beaming on this leopard, and he was sitting up on an old termite mound, and then he came down from his perch and walked right by our trucks. We kind of pursued him for a little while. Just what an impressive animal he was. Really healthy, beautiful fur or beautiful hide. After the morning game drive, we took off on a walking safari, which is a very different experience than I'm accustomed to. We were guided by our wonderful guide, KG, who held an elephant gun the entire time as we cruised around in the bush. And as during the walking safari, you don't have the protections of the vehicle, so you kind of definitely play it safer. You're not necessarily looking for animals, but you're really inspecting all those tiny little things that are around, all the birds and a lot of things about vegetation. Hippos, even though they're not in the big five, I think are some of the most fascinating creatures out there. First, they're just absolutely enormous, and they sit in the water all day long, and our guide KG told us that it's because they have very, very sensitive skin, and if it gets exposed to the sunlight, it will crack, and apparently that's painful. So the hippo just more or less sits in the water all day long, and every once in a while it will poke its head up and put its nostrils out in the air in order to get some breath. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about the whole driving safari. It's not really my style to be in a vehicle or to be with lots of other people, but I will say that I found the safari genuinely enjoyable. It's really pleasant to be with other people, and just you're always talking about the animals you've seen, and you talk about stories from back home. The safari is wonderful. You cruise around in the bush on the back of a Land Rover. Your guide's telling you all about the animals. Hopefully you've seen some really cool things. And then in the evening we do sundowners after the sun has gone down, and the likelihood of us seeing animals is kind of starting to vanish in the dark. So we stop, and last night we checked out some rhinos, just caught the very last amount of daylight, and then had sundowners. From there it's a really pleasant cruise back to the lodge with the big bright light in the front with the tracker, just kind of seeing if you can see any eyeballs out in the bush, and if so, then maybe we'd track them for a while before heading in and getting a wonderful dinner.